Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. I am going to be doing a resist technique using the Goosebumps texture product. Now it does come in a dauber top bottle as you saw on the screen. That's the one that I have. It comes in a spray bottle as well. Now Goosebumps is water-based, it doesn't have any odor, and it's typically for creating texture and dimension on your projects. So once it's dry, it acts as a resist, which is what we're doing today. But you can also create the look of ice, of water, of glass. There's a shimmery one. That's the one that I have that has lots of shimmer. Then there's clear and an original. And all three come in dauber tops and spray bottles. So however you want your Goosebumps, there's pretty much a way to get it. So as you can see, I have a slimline piece of cardstock. It's watercolor card. And then I have this beautiful stencil from a Colorful Life Designs. And I am just daubing my Goosebumps through that stencil. And every now and then I pick it up and tip it in the light just to make sure that I'm getting some good coverage. Now this is one final hurrah for Halloween. Or maybe I'm creating for next year. I don't know. I kind of do Halloween all year. So forgive me. But with that said, as I'm putting the Goosebumps down, I don't necessarily want completely full coverage, but I love grunge, and one way to get some grunge is by doing unpredictable art or unpredictable techniques, meaning techniques that you don't have a whole lot of control over, such as using your sprays. Sprays and sometimes pastes, things like that, gel plate printing, anything like that where you don't have as much control as you might with other techniques. Those are good ways to get you some grunge. Now there's other ways as well, but you can see the grungy technique that's coming up, or the grungy results that are coming up on screen. So let me say this, the panel on the right, I had taken the stencil after I put the Goosebumps through it, and I tried to print any excess Goosebumps onto the panel on the right. Excuse me, and you can see that it dried and very little of it actually transferred. But it was kind of an experiment, and I just wanted to see what would happen. Since it is water-based, I'm wondering if I sprayed it with some water, it might reactivate, and I may have been able to get a better print. But I'll have to play in the future. But so we're setting that one aside altogether, and now comes the resist part. You could see as the panel was drying that it was resisting, but this is where the magic happens, y'all. You just take yourself, I have a little microfiber cloth, just take yourself a paper towel or whatever it is you have handy and just wipe that excess ink off of the Goosebumps covered areas. So if you were doing a winter scene and you had snow and you did your snow effect with the Goosebumps, or if you did like an icy pond and you got ink on it, all you gotta do is wipe it off. Watercolor wipes right off. Clearly the beautiful fireworks sprays that we used also wipe right off. So benefit, and that's why we can use this Goosebumps as a resist product. And so here we're going to start constructing the card. I have these death moths and I have them colored and fussy cut out, and just trying to pull colors from the panel that coordinate with those colors of the colors of fireworks that I used. And now I have this slimline die that I'm going to cut out this panel. Now the slimline will fit completely on my cutting plate, but I don't like it necessarily to go end to end because sometimes those ends don't cut properly. So I'll do one end, flip it around, and do the other. There's nothing wrong with that. It's pretty easy. When I do the other end, I don't usually run the whole thing through because I feel like it does, at least for me, risk kind of double cutting in the areas where you don't need to run it back through. But the fun thing about that particular die is alternating corners are rounded and then the other one is squared off. So I think that's fun. Now this oval die also comes in that set. It's a 2 die cut or a 2 die set. And I just love that little frame. That particular die, the oval die, has a pierced detail around the actual oval cutout, and then it has the frame, and then it has a pierced detail on the negative. I guess it's the negative. It has it on the positive and the negative, and I never know which is which. So if you know that, go ahead and drop that down in the comments. It may or may not stick in my head. But I just said that to say that it has pierced detail on all of it, except the thin little bitty oval that I'm adhering right now. Now I am using my On Point precision glue, and I have to say this fine little tip was perfect for this oval die, because you can see it is tiny, and the only reason I use it is just to kind of draw your eye into the card to create that focal area, and that's where I'm going to line up my 3 death moths. Now I have to say that the glue didn't necessarily like the resist, didn't like the Goosebumps. That texture was kind of hard in the beginning, but I just went back and I added just a dab more of the glue, and I held it in place till it took, and that was it. It stayed, and now it's good. So I have all 3 of my death moths, and I have them popped up on a little bit of foam tape, and here comes the sentiment. It says spooky wishes. And again, if I'm late in designing for Halloween, or if I'm a little bit early for next year, getting to jump on things, you decide. But I just thought it was fun, wanted to share it with you, and you can use this resist technique with the Goosebumps on anything. You know, it doesn't have to be a Halloween card. It doesn't have to be a winter card. You could do it for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, any kind of day, a just because day, and just see what kind of results you're going to get. And I'd love it if you would tag me on social media with anything that you're making. Imagine Crafts, I know, would love to be tagged as well. They want to see what you're making and what products you're using and that type of thing. But in the meantime, y'all, if you are not already a member of my crafty tribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell so you're alerted next time I post something. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But in the meantime, y'all, drop me a comment downstairs, and I will see you next time. Mwah. Until then, I'm out.